Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, as we get ready for TNA's first big pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want, pay-per-view, because you actually got to buy it. We're getting ready for TNA Genesis. We're going to do the 25 best matches in Genesis history, coming off of last night's TNA debut on AMC. In my opinion, lackluster. And I've been a TNA fan since 2006. So the hype for the new channel and just what they did, cool, you had AJ Styles out there talking. Alright, you had him go and talk to Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, that's some history of Frankie. But you're X Division champion. TNA's built, and you advertised it, TNA's built off the X Division. No X Division champion. Oh, that's right, he's working for WWE. And you got AJ Styles instead. So you have your veteran who built the place, who passed the torch to this young kid, and now the young kid's already off in WWE doing stuff, and you don't have your X Division champion for the show or the pay-per-view. Anyway, TNA Genesis, tomorrow night. We're going to do a preview of it tomorrow as well. Go ahead and do the best 25 matches. And that's something I'm going to try to do for AEW, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, NXT, is do the best matches of that show history. So, the best of TNA Genesis. This is the 14th show to have the Genesis name on it. 3 of those were actually Impact, because back during the Impact Wrestling era, a lot of the pay-per-views like this, they did kind of a hyped up Impact show, a Thursday night show. So, it was Impact on Thursday, Genesis. And so 3 of those were those two tapings, and then like 1 week, and then the following week, and then they did the following year, and then it went back to the pay-per-view model. So this will be the 11th TNA Genesis under the pay-per-view model. 87 matches, 77 men, 10 women. I'm going to run down the 25 best matches in TNA Genesis history. Number 25, TNA Genesis 2010. We have Desmond Wolfe, formerly known as Nigel McGuinness, taking on D'Angelo Dinero. Desmond Wolfe got the victory there at a 3-star match. Number 24 comes from TNA Genesis 2007. Samoa Joe versus Robert Roode. Samoa Joe getting the victory, 3-star match. Number 23, TNA Genesis 2011. The TNA X Division Championship on the line. Champion Jay Lethal taking on Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian getting the victory there and becoming X Division champion, 3¼ star. TNA Genesis 2007, number 22 on the list, TNA X Division Championship, champion Jay Lethal, shocking, he was a champion a lot back then, versus Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal retaining this title, 3¼ star match. Number 21 actually comes from the countdown to Genesis 2025. We had Frankie Kazarian taking on the aforementioned Leon Slater. Leon Slater losing there to Frankie Kazarian in a 3½ match. But the 1 year that Leon Slater's had since that match has been just sky high. Watching Leon Slater, not only TNA X Division champion, we've seen him in we've seen him in NXT, we've saw him on the WWE main roster. We see him in Rev Pro. We see him name the indie company almost. And hell, I was watching a Rev Pro show from last year. He had a 4½ star match versus Michael Oku. So, Leon Slater is the next level of X Division guy. He is one of one. I like the fact he's getting a taste of WWE, but I don't know if WWE would use him the way he needs to be used. I know they don't like that just crazy high flyer. Obviously, they want to protect him, and I understand that. But I think part of Leon Slater's youth, as young as he is, and as daredevilish as he is, he needs that to continue building himself up. So, definitely want to see him not only succeed in the sport of professional wrestling, but also have a long career too. So, he maybe needs to kind of dial it back a little bit so he has that longer career. Look what AJ Styles did. AJ Styles was that daredevil high fly, and he backed that down. He's still one of the best out there. Number 20 on the list comes from TNA Genesis 2025. The TNA World Tag Titles on the line. Champions, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, taking on the Rascals. Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Their parties did retain their titles that day, but 3.5-star match. Number 19 comes from Genesis 2021. Super X Cup final match. We had Blake Christian taking on Ace Austin. Ace Austin got the victory there. 3.5-star match. I think Blake Christian, in the last 5 years from that match, it seemed like he was on a track like that, but he kind of got there and just kind of leveled off. And so I do want to definitely see more out of him. I know he's been in a tag team on Ring of Honor, did a little bit on AEW. We used to see him a lot in GCW. That's where I kind of fell in love with him at. So I'm like, he's kind of plateaued a little bit there. So I want to see more out of Blake Christian than I have in the last 4 or 5 years. This match here against Ace Austin was really damn good. And if you haven't watched it, go back on TNA Plus and watch it. 3.5-star match there. Number 18 on the list comes from 2007. It was a tag team match. We had Team 3D, Brother Devon, Brother Ray, taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, who've been missing in action here lately. Oh, that's right. They're working for AAA. The Machine Guns get the victory with Team 3D. That was kind of obviously the way toward the end of Team 3D, 2007. So kind of as Team 3D is kind of coming down, but that's when the Machine Guns were going up. So that was one of those matches where they kind of hit that intersection, the old versus the new, high flying versus the power, and went out there and put on a 3.5-star match. Number 17 on the list comes from Genesis 2006, TNA X Division Championship on the line. Champion, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, taking on Chris Sabin. Christopher Daniels getting the victory there. I gave that a 3.5 as well. Number 16 comes from 2025, TNA World Heavyweight Title line. Champion Nick Nemeth taking on Joe Hendry. If you say his name, he will appear. And Joe Hendry became TNA World Champion. 3.75-star match. Number 15 on the list comes from Genesis 2025. The TNA Knockout World Championship on the line. Champion Masha Slamovich taking on Rosemary. Masha Slamovich getting the victory there. 3.75-star. Number 14 also came from Genesis 2025. The X Division title. Champion Moose versus Ace Austin. Moose getting the victory there, retaining his title. 3.75-star match. Number 13 comes from Genesis 2011. We had TNA World Tag Titles on the line. We had champions of Motor City Machine Guns taking on Bear Monday. James Storm and Robert Roode, one of the best tag teams in TNA history, got the victory there. Won the tag titles there in 2011 in a 3.75-star match. Now this next one comes from Genesis 2006. This is the era that I started watching TNA, and one of my guys was there at the time, Stinger. Jeff Jarrett, he was there. I was a big Sting fan, so I was like, Stinger's in TNA, I'm going to watch TNA. But the next match taught me what the Phenomenal One actually meant, based on how good I knew they were. From 2006, number 12 on the list, the Phenomenal AJ Styles taking on Captain Charisma, Christian Cage. The matches like this, the AJ Christian matches, I knew how good Christian Cage was. I didn't know AJ Styles at the time. Watching them, this was actually, because Genesis used to be in November, so this was 06. So this is about, I think the month before this was my first TNA show. So Christian Cage getting the victory over AJ, 3.75-star match. Number 11 comes from Genesis 05. Now I've since went back and rewatched all the pay-per-views, but like I said, 2006 I started with Bound for Glory, and then I started watching from their point forward. But I've gone back now and watched all the pay-per-views. So I'm going to talk about the 2005 8-man tag of Alex Shelley, Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, Samoa Joe, taking on Ace Austin, Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley, and Sanjay Dutt. Oh my God. Let's see. WWE, AEW, Indies, Almost Out of Wrestling, WWE, Out of Wrestling, AEW. The team of Daniel Strong and Joe and Roddy. I would say Alex Shelley, Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, and Samoa Joe got the victory in this 8-man elimination match. I give it 3 3/4 star. Number 10 on the list comes from 2005. The TNA X Division Championship on the line. Champion the phenomenal AJ Styles taking on the developer of the Canadian Destroyer. Now everyone knows freaking Destroyer. P.D. Williams. AJ Styles get the victory there, 3 3/4 star. Number 9 on the list comes from Genesis 2013 Triple Threat Elimination Match for the TNA World Heavyweight Title. Champion Jeff Hardy taking on Austin Aries, taking on Bobby Roode. Jeff Hardy getting the victory. I gave that 4 star. Number 8 comes from 2010, the TNA World Heavyweight Title line. Champion of phenomenal AJ Styles, taking on the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. AJ beating Kurt there for a 4-star match. They had a great feud in TNA back in that era. 2009 TNA X Division champion, the Motor City Machine Guns versus one another. Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley to me is like a, oh gosh, Christian and Stang or any other tag team that were great as a tag team, but if you need them to wrestle one another, they can do it. You just, whatever you needed, they could go out and put and perform. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley here getting the victory in a 4-star match. Number 6 on the list comes from Genesis 2007. It was the TNA World Heavyweight Title #1 contendership Fight for the Right Tournament final ladder match. Yeah, it was a tournament they had for the #1 contender, Christian Cage, Kaz, and a ladder match. Frankie Kazarian. One of my Kaz back then. And Kaz, Frankie Kazarian getting the victory there and become a #1 contender. That was 2007. 4-star match. Number 5 on the list comes from TNA Genesis 2005. It was a 6-man tag. It was Rhino and Team 3D, Brother Devon and Brother Ray, taking on America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm, the second best tag team in TNA history. And they both involved James Storm, teaming up with Jeff Jarrett. This 6-man tag was extremely good. Rhino and Team 3D getting the victory in a 4-star match. Every once in a while, Team 3D and Rhino could go out there and put on those classic matches like this, more of a fight than anything. But it's like, you see a typical match, it's like, that's okay. But you know what? Team 3D can step up for the big moments. Alright, number 4 on the list comes from 2025. We had the men's singles match here, and I Quit match. Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, taking on Mike Santana. 4 1/4 star match with Mike Santana getting the victory. Number 3 also comes from 2025. We had Jordan Grace taking on Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard getting the victory there. One of the best women's matches in TNA history, with Tessa Blanchard getting the victory. 4 1/4 star match. Number 2 comes from Genesis 06. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Yeah, these are not even title matches. That's how good TNA was in that late 2000, 2005 through 2010. Kurt Angle and Joe wasn't even the title match, wasn't even the main event. 4 1/4 star match with Kurt Angle getting the victory. And then number 1 comes from Genesis 09. No disqualification. Another just amazing feud. Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett. Remember, Kurt Angle's wife left him and went with Jeff Jarrett. Got married. And this is a real life situation that they storylined backstage because it all happened backstage. Yeah. And this was out on TV all the time. It was like craziness. Those are the best storylines, the real life situations. 4 1/2 star match there with Kurt Angle getting the victory. Some other notable matches from Genesis 2012 X Division title match, Fatal 4-Way, Austin Aries, Kid Cash, Zema Ion, and Jesse Sorensen. 3-star match with Aries winning. Shark Boy and Nigel McGuinness in 2005 pre-show. That's just a random ass match with Shark Boy beating Nigel. 2 1/2 star match. So yeah, there was some great matches. There was also some crap. The worst match in TNA Genesis ever. There's 2 matches I gave 1 star to. 2006 3-on-2 handicap match. Johnny Devine, Frankie Kazarian, Maverick Matt taking on the Voodoo Kin Mafia, BKM. of BJ James and Kip James. The Voodoo Kin Mafia got the victory. I gave it 1 star. And then the TNA Knockouts title, 2 out of 3 falls. 2010, ODB versus Tara. Tara winning the match. I gave that one 1 star as well. So, the best and then the 2 worst matches in Genesis history. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for the preview of TNA Genesis, and then the review probably Monday, Tuesday-ish. Depends on some other stuff. As always, thanks so much for Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.